Hello, welcome to Chapter 2, Lesson 6 on Sales Tax, Tips, and Markup. Open your books and follow along on page 151. I need you to pause the video now to complete the What You'll Learn on the top of page 151 and then do the real world link. You need to do this first. Please don't skip this assignment because it is very important to prepare you for this lesson. Today we are going to learn how to find sales tax, and we're going to also learn how to find tips and markups. Sales tax is part of our vocabulary word. It's a percent of the amount that you're spending that usually goes toward your state or your government where you live. And so we add that sales tax onto the original price of the item. Tip and gratuity are synonyms. They both mean an extra amount that's added into the cost, usually to pay for a service, such as if you go out to eat, or if you have a service such as your hair done, you might have a gratuity or a tip. And markup is if a price increases, they mark up the price. So let's start on example 1, page 152. Drew wants to buy exercise equipment that cost $140, and the sales tax is 5.75%. What is the total cost of the equipment? Well, we have two methods here. Method 1 is where we can add the sales tax to the regular price. Method 2 is to add the percent to the sales tax, or a percent of the tax to the 100%. So let's start with method 1. Add sales tax to the regular price. The regular price is $140. So we can start by writing down 140 is the whole amount. Excuse me. So we write that down. This is the whole amount. Now the percent is 5.75%. To change the percent to a decimal, you divide by 100, which moves the decimal 2 places left, which is 0.0575. That's your percent. And we're trying to find the part for tax. So let's call that part T for tax. Part equals percent times the whole. All you need to do now is multiply 0 or 0.0575 times 140, and you get the sales tax to be $8.05. So that's the amount of tax. The question is asking not for the tax, but the total cost. So now you add the original price, $140, plus tax, which is $8.05, which gives you a grand total of $148.05. Now method 2 is slightly different. We can start by adding 100% for the original price, plus the percent of sales tax, which is 5.75%. When you add those percents together, you get 105.75%. Now you can add this amount or multiply it, percent times the whole amount. So now we have 105.75. Let's change that into a decimal. Move it 2 places to the left. So we get the part, which is your tax, equals the new percent times the whole amount, which is 140. And this is not only the tax, but this is the new price. So instead of T, let's call it P for the new price. So we have 105.75% times 140. This gives you the total cost, which is $148.05. So go ahead. I want you to try A on page, it looks like it's on page 152. So go ahead and pause the video now to work on that. Now we're going to start example 2, page 153. A customer wants to tip 15% on a restaurant bill that is $35. What will the total bill be with tip. So we need to add the tip to the regular price. First of all, let's figure out what the tip is equal to. The tip is equal to the percent, which I write as a decimal, times the total cost, or the whole amount. So the tip, 15% or 0.15 times 35 gives us a total, when you calculate it, of $5.25. So now we take the original amount, 35, plus 5.25, which gives us a grand total of $40.25. The second method is to add the percent of tip to 100%. 100% is the total bill. 15% is the tip. That gives us a total cost of 115%. So now what we can do is get the total cost, T, equals 1.15 as a decimal, times the original amount, which is 35. When you multiply that, you get your grand total to equal $40.25. So the total bill is the same price no matter if we solve it by adding the tip or if we solve it by adding the percents first. Go ahead and try B and C on, oops, that's not correct. Try B and C on page 153 at this time after you finish example 3. So let's look at example 3 and then you'll be prepared for B and C. A haircut costs $20. Sales tax is 4.75%. Is $25 sufficient to cover the haircut with tax and a 15% tip? For this problem, we have a couple things they're asking for. They're asking for the tip and they're asking for the tax. In order to solve this, the easiest way is to add the sales tax and the tip. So we can add 4.75% tax plus 15%, which is your tip, which gives you a total percent of extra fees of 19.75%. So now to find out the total, we have 19.75, which as a decimal, it would be, move it 2 places to the left, 0.1975 times the total cost, which is 20. When you calculate that, you get your total increase is $3.95. So now we take this amount and add it to what they spent. They spent $20 originally for the haircut, plus they're adding $3.95 for tax and tip. That gives a grand total of $23.95. And they're asking, is $25 sufficient to cover the total amount? Yes. $25 is enough. You'll have about $1.05 left over. Please try B and C now on page 153. Pause the video to work out those examples. All right, example 4, page 154 says, a store pays $56 for a GPS navigation system. The markup, or the price of increase, is going up 25%. Find the selling price. So at stores, especially retail stores, they typically pay for the item. In this case, they pay $56, but they need to sell it for higher to make a profit. So they mark up the price by 25%. So we can take, let's take 25% of the original price. That's going to equal the new price. I'll call it N. New price will be 0.25 times 56 is a markup of 14. Actually, the book calls it M, so let's change it to M for markup. If the price goes up $14, then you can add the amount of markup to the amount the store pays. So $14 plus $56 that they originally spent gives you a grand total of $70 that you will spend for this item at the store. So $70 is the sell price. Please pause the video and try D on page 154. Tomorrow in class, we will work out the guided practice together, so please bring your book and also bring your Chromebook, as tomorrow will be our playlist Friday. I hope you have a great night, have a great day, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.